by Easter. That is the hope. Today, Pope Benedict XVI announcing his resignation effective at the end of the month. He cited his deteriorating strength and his advanced age. He turns 86 in April. Well, I want to bring in two guests here. First of all, senior Vatican analyst John Allen and the Reverend Thomas Rees. He is author of Inside the Vatican. John, I want to start off with you first of all. Very historic, hasn't happened really in 600 years. What is the significance to the Church?
Well, Suzanne, the significance is enormous. The Pope is considered by Catholics to be the vicar of Christ on earth, the successor of Peter, the kind of unquestioned leader of the 1.2 billion strong Catholic community around the world. And while Benedict has done everything he can to send signals of stability and continuity here, that is the indication that there will be a regular conclave to elect the next Pope and that the next Pope will enjoy his full support and so on. I mean, nevertheless, these moments of transition are always jarring to Catholics. I mean, you remember, of course, the anxiety millions of Catholics around the world felt when John Paul II died in 2005, and in some ways this transition creates the same sense of crossroads, the same set of question marks about the future of the Church that we experienced and lived through 7 years ago.
Sure, and John, being a Roman Catholic myself, I understand the huge symbolism that is involved in this transition, but do we think that there's going to be anything concrete when it comes to any kind of change in position in the Church? Because we know that Benedict was very conservative when it comes to gay rights, when it comes to women being ordained in the Church, when it comes to birth control, many of those things that people are looking to and wondering if the Church will, in fact, alter or adjust to the times.
Well, look, I mean, at the big picture level, on the kinds of issues you ticked off that sort of framed the front lines of the culture wars in the West, you know, we should remember that the 118 cardinals who are under the age of 80 and will therefore be voting for the next pope are all men who were appointed by John Paul II and Benedict XVI. So, you know, one can assume that they will be looking for someone who would be in sync with those popes in terms of the content of church teaching. But on the other hand, you know, every pope is also different. I mean, Benedict XVI, even though he had most of the same ideas as John Paul II, was a very different figure, just as John Paul II was a very different figure from the Pope briefly who preceded him, John Paul I and Paul VI. So there will be change in tone and style, probably not so much on substance, Suzanne.
All right, John, thank you very much. I want to bring in Reverend Rees here. Reverend,